It's always for kids. It's too heavy, too long, not enough loft. And then all those bad habits get created because of that, yeah. Here's the great news. When you ask somebody for 3 wishes as a genie and they say, I only need 2, you know you're dealing with a good player. So we've got Ananyaa Sood here today at TPI. She's 13 years old, born in India, lives in Dubai. She just came in second for the US Kids Championship. I've heard a lot of great things. I'm really excited to meet her. This is monkey see, monkey do. I'm gonna do something and then I'm gonna watch you do it. Now some stuff I'm gonna write down, but the majority of stuff I'm gonna put in our app. We have an app that we use with all of our players. The app will allow me to send you all your data. You can share it with anybody, and I can also give you suggested exercises and stuff through the app. So I think it's really important that you screen golfers at any age, especially when they're young, right? So young kids all develop at different rates. If you get 2 kids that are 13 years old, one kid might be more like a 16-year-old maturity-wise, and one might be like a 10-year-old. There's a big difference in those. So part of our screening is not only looking for all the, what can they do, what can't they do to swing a golf club, but where they are developmentally. Keeping all your weight on your right leg, I want you to rotate your body as far as you can that way. Good. And back. And keeping all your weight on your right leg, your left leg can swivel, rotate that way. Good. Switch legs for me. Okay. All your weight's on your left leg, go that way. It's good to be young and flexible. You're making your coach jealous right now. He wishes he could have done that. Okay, that's good.
20 years ago.
So Ananya's got a pretty amazing team for 13 years old. She actually trains at the Harman Institute there in Dubai. She's got Sujan Singh as her coach, and she's got Alistair Parlane as her strength and conditioning coach. Keeping those knees together, nice and slowly, rotate to the right. Nice and slowly. Keeping those knees together, we're gonna go left. If we're gonna do a contest, do you like one way other than the other?
This one's easier.
It looks easier. I need to measure that. Hold on a second. Okay. It's almost 11 degrees more. On that little test right there, normal's 50 degrees. Okay, you turned 53 to the right, but you turned 64 to the left. I like them to be the same. Okay, you know, go down just a little bit. Right there, hold right there. Now keep your belt nice and level. Okay, if you feel like you're gonna cramp, you stop. I want you to extend your right leg. And just keep it up in the air. Keep it right here. Good. Compare to the other side.
This one's easier.
So we're gonna have a contest. You're going with your right leg. Try your left one more time, just to make sure.
This one's a bit more shaky.
Okay, all right. That's all I need to know. Come on up. I'm gonna tell you, you did pretty darn good right there. My first impression of just watching Ananyaa go through our movement screen is I'm pretty impressed, right? We classify every movement screen as red, yellow, or green. Red means this is definitely gonna affect your golf swing. Yellow means it might, and green means, hey, your body's great. She didn't have any red, which is pretty amazing for 13 years old. I sent it to the AI and I said, if you were gonna build her a workout, what would you do? When we're done, I'm gonna go look. If I agree with it, I'll keep it. If I think it's okay, but I think you should do some more stuff, I will add some additional ones and you'll see my additional ones coming in, okay? Just so you know. I always let you see what the computer sees just so there's no bias. All right, now I'm gonna do some power testing. Come on over here. So to me, power testing is one of the most important things you can do, especially with kids. We know that power or speed is one of the best weapons when you become a professional golfer. Okay, we're gonna check vertical jump. That was 14.9. 15.3. Pretend like there's a basketball rim. You're going to try and touch the rim. Let's get you in the WNBA. Let's see. 16.5. Try and even grab higher. 16.5. Okay, now here's what you're going to do. You're going to squat. When you're down here, you're going to hold. When I say go, just jump straight up. Go. 16.3. I would like you to grab the red ball, sit towards the edge of the chair. You can rock back and chest pass it to me. So in our fitness and power level 2 classes, we teach our fitness or power screen. And one of the important things here is that we use medicine balls to test some of the core and upper body power. Now we use 2 different medicine balls. We use one that's called a local, one that's called a global. Let me explain what the difference is. Golf doesn't have weight classes. Like if you look at boxing or martial arts, people that weigh a certain weight compete against each other. You don't have heavyweights competing against featherweights. Well, golf, there is no weight classes. From a power perspective, the big girls have an advantage. The bigger you are, the more power you can generate. So when we do power testing, of course the bigger girls are gonna test better. What we do is this. We do what's called global testing. We have all the girls test with the same weight medicine ball. We do a 2-kilogram medicine ball. Now that way you can see how you're going to do when you compete against the other best players in the world, because again, there is no weight classes in golf. Unfortunately, the smaller girls have to play against the bigger girls. So now if I want to see like how good are you compared to girls your size, we do what's called local testing, and we use 1 pound per 20 pounds of body weight. Now we did both of these on Ananyaa. We went through and we checked her global just to see how she would compete against the best girls out there in the world, and then we checked a weight where it's more equal to her body weight. When we did the global testing, Ananyaa was pretty well balanced. Lower body was her most powerful, right? If I were to put it like, let's call it in horsepower, she was about a 16 horsepower lower body. She was about a 15 horsepower core and about a 15 horsepower upper body. So pretty balanced in her body. When we went to the heavier ball, like using the weight class that she should be competing in, it highlighted a power weakness in her core. The lower body stayed the same strength, but the core went down to a 12 horsepower. Weakness in power can be a strength problem, or it could be a speed problem, which is why we're going to test strength next. Just go straight down, straight back up. Could you do that 8 times?
8 times?
8 times? Could you do it 8 times?
Not like this, no.
30s back? You want to try 20s or 25s? Go straight down. Could you do it 8 times?
Yeah.
Let me see the other leg forward. Let me see your right leg forward. 8 times?
Yeah.
Let me see 25s. See, you thought 20, I thought 30. We're probably right in the middle. Let's see. Can you do it 8 times?
Probably.
Let me see the right leg forward.
Yeah.
Okay, you put those back. You can hold on to this. Okay, go for it. 8 times? Let me see your left arm.
Yeah.
I want to hear you say no. Keep going.
Okay, no.
Okay, 37.5. Okay, let me write that down. It's hard to predict what you can do, but it's easy to predict what you can't do. So that's what I'm saying. Power is force times velocity. So think of force as strength, velocity as speed. So what we do is we test strength. It's easier to test strength than speed, right? So we go and test strength. Now when we tested Ananya's strength, I think it became very clear that strength was down, right? So if I want to improve her power, I got to improve her strength. Not saying we can't make her faster, but usually we don't like to put speed on top of weakness. This is comparing you to our entire LPGA. You said I want to go on the LPGA, so I'm comparing you to our LPGA database, right? Now, it gives you a red, yellow, or green. Red means you're way below LPGA. Green means you're right in LPGA range. Yellow means you're on the border, right? You can see you're on the border of all 3 of these, right? And you're 13. Just so always remember, I'm comparing you to grown women, right? Okay. So if power is down and you want to make it more powerful, I either need to make you stronger or faster. I asked the app, do you think she needs strength or speed? And the app said, compared to LPGA, you need strength. So you're actually developing way more speed than strength. So you're high on the velocity because you're low on the strength. The problem with this is much more injury predictive than this, right? So you asked the genie, I'm like, we got to get you stronger so that you're not doing it all with speed.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Didn't want her to be doing a lot. She's on the T-bar, she's at 80 odd kilos already. And so I was like, Ali, how are we doing?
She should be, the split squat, 30 would have been, okay, she's in our base minimum. We tried 30 and you almost buckled doing that, right? So we're like, no, so we definitely need her lower body. No, I'm just talking lower body strength right now too. So legs need to be stronger. We're gonna get to core and upper body here in a second, but legs definitely need to be stronger. I don't care if you're strong, I care minimal thresholds. Right? So as long as you're in the middle of the threshold, I'm like, I don't want you to be superwoman. Like that, you can almost get too strong and become problems. We're not there yet. Now if I go look at your upper body, let's go look at your upper body. Your lower body was 92%, it was only 8% below. This is 16% below. So we definitely need to get a little more power in the upper body. I'm not saying tomorrow, by the way. Over the next 3 years, we're gonna add some strength. Okay? Well, one of the best predictors of how you swing is your power testing, right? So if you think about this, like if your lower body was the most powerful, would it surprise you if you jump a lot or your lower body moves successfully in your golf swing? You're trying to use your power source. Vice versa, if your upper body was most powerful, would it surprise you if you were over the top or cast or used your arms successfully? Your brain's trying to use your primary power source. Why it's really important to understand where the player's power source is and how it compares to the other parts of the body. We also looked at your ability to rotate with power. Right? It's saying On your dominant side, you're above average. Like for the engine you have, you're really good at creating power on your dominant, even more than most players, which is really good. On your non-dominant, you're average. So you're right in the zone. It's just, you're like Superwoman on the right side. So, and again, Alistair's the king on this, right? He's gonna walk you through this, but this is some of the stuff that he might be like, hey, I'm curious what the computer sees if I need to add some stuff on there. All right, so now that I know this, let's go swing.
Double plate ready.
Okay, give me 1 second here. Actually, we're gonna go to your driver. The first thing we're gonna do here when we get to the swing is we're gonna look at how you generate power. Now, power starts from the ground. They're called ground reaction forces because when you push into the ground reacts by pushing back into you, right? Those ground reaction forces is what helps start to generate your speeds, your torques, and helps you move the club. So anytime we're doing evaluating, I always like to see how you start the power, and then after that, we'll go see how you transfer it through your body.
Double plate ready.
That's perfect.
Double plate ready.
Okay. When I asked her strengths and weaknesses, she said her strengths is driving and putting, and she said pretty good with irons. She said if there's any area of her game that would be better, be chipping. If I said a 20-yard stock chip, like if normal trajectory, it can bounce and run a little bit. Is that like the range we're talking?
Yeah.
Where you struggle? Just what did you grab?
Over 50.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Double plate ready.
I want to get 2 of those.
Double plate ready.
Landed on that ball.
Double plate ready.
Okay, give me a second. All right, here's the good news. The good news is I know why you don't like chipping. I don't want to say anything in case we do 3D. I don't want you to change anything yet, so I'm just looking. I'll be right. I promise I won't shut up at one point. But are you a student of your swing? Like, do you look at your swing on video and stuff like that a lot?
Only during lessons. I don't like to do it too much.
Okay. That's a good answer, brother. Are you a less information kind of person or a more information kind of person?
I mean, maybe like in bits is better because I like to understand it.
Okay.
I'm kind of in between.
Okay, so now I understand why Sujan was excited when he called me. I look at this force plate here and the numbers I'm seeing, this is like literally what I would expect to see from one of our top LPGA players. We've got perfect sequence here. We've got great magnitude, so the amount that she's pushing, and even the timing. You know, one of the hardest things in the world to do in ground reaction force is do it early in the swing, and she's like super early. This is quite impressive. Yep, we're gonna do 3D. Let's do 3D on you real quick. Hold on. Just because the ground reaction forces are great doesn't mean that you can coordinate that and time that and sequence it through your body. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into our 3D lab, put on the motion capture suit, and we're gonna see how she transfers that energy from the ground to her trunk to the arms of the club to make sure that there's no loss of power through her body.
She's actually stronger than most 13-year-old girls. So he wants to keep it not too intensive for now.
You talking about Alistair?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, I'll talk with him. But this is what age do we want to do this at? Then we gotta get stronger. If we want to wait till she's 19, 21, we got time. Like he's right for your age, but you said you don't want to do it like the normal pace. If you want to, then we gotta get stronger, or else she's gonna break down. Yeah. So one of the things we hear out here at TPI all the time from parents and from young players is, hey, I'm scared to start strength training because I'm too young, right? They think that maybe it's going to stunt your growth. And there's been a lot of myths out there. I'm telling you right now, most players do not start strength training early enough. Imagine I'm an insurance agent, right? And you say, how fast can this car go? I will insure this to a certain speed based on the frame, right? You're already above the speed I would insure. Like, so if anything breaks down, I'm not responsible. Like, if you didn't have testosterone going through your body, but at this age you do, we can do strength, no problem, without risk of any injury. I'm not trying to make you Hercules either. I just want to base, you know what I mean? Yeah. We now know from a lot of research that once you hit your growth spurt in puberty, testosterone, a hormone, starts to flow through both men and women. Once you have testosterone, you can build true strength, right? So I think it is smart to wait till testosterone. So how do you know? You look for the growth spurt. Once they hit that growth spurt, you can wait 6 to 12 months after that, and then it's safe. Start doing strength training. We measure height every month on the kids and we track the speed. You'll see this little growth spurt. You'll see their height go up and then they'll get to a point where they peak and they start to slow down. Right there is where you can start strength training. It's called peak height velocity. So when Ananyaa asked me as her wish list for today, she said she wanted to be able to play as long as she can healthy, longevity-wise. And I think one of the key indicators for longevity in golf is making sure that your frame can handle the speed in which you're swinging the club, right? So one of the things that we do is we'll always test your club head speed and then we'll test your power. And what we found is that if the engine, your body, the framework, like think of it like a skyscraper, the foundation's not big and you try and add a lot of floors, the building's gonna fall over, right? So the key to having a really tall skyscraper or a lot of speed is having a big foundation. So our power testing is really testing your foundation that's stable to be able to rotate a club around. So those force plates that you were on earlier, they kind of tell me how you start generating power.
Yeah.
This is going to tell me how you transfer it through your body.
Okay.
Okay. So I kind of know how you start it, and I want to know how you transfer it to the club. I do all this, and we're going to need like 5 swings. All right. So now I'm going to tell the computer a little bit about your club first, and then I'm going to tell a little bit about you. I'm going to have you hold on to that with your left hand. Cool. All right, it usually takes 3 shots for you to get used to all this, so just hit 3 balls, just kind of loosen up. 3rd swing is usually the charm. 3rd one's the charm. All right, so now it's double plate ready, then you swing, okay?
Double plate ready.
How'd you hit that one? She does a lot of lag, right? So I kind of want to see how the club gets the energy, because that's an area where you're the weakest is your upper body, but you use a lot of speed with your upper body. I just want to see how that works. Okay, let's do one more. When you hear it.
Double plate ready.
Okay, I think we're going to go to driver, but just give me 1 second. It's so good, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's so many good things here. It's so good. Sequence is perfect. So just like the force plate, I look at the 3D, and once again, I think I'm looking at a veteran on the LPGA, right? It looks like a great kinematic sequence. All the body parts are in order. So lower body goes first, trunk goes second, arm goes third, club goes fourth. I look at the total speeds, pelvic speeds above LPGA average, trunk speeds above LPGA average, club speeds right around LPGA average. If there's one weakness here, and it's hard for me to use the word weakness when I talk about Ananyaa, but it would be her arm speed. Arm speed's down just a little bit. So it's something that I think we're going to investigate. She gets to 42 degrees of hip to shoulder separation, 464 degrees per second pelvis. Average on PGA Tour is 500. Not LPGA, PGA Tour, right? I get to the trunk, she's at 722. Average on PGA is 700. She's at 722. Remember, I didn't say LPGA, it's PGA, right? I get to the arms, it's at 890, average is 1200. We need upper body speed and strength. It's upper body. Upper bodies, we need some strength over there, right? Clubs at 2100, that's pretty close to average LPGA. So the club's moving really fast around a frame that's the arms that are a little below what we want. I mean, the biggest thing I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna do driver in a second here. Chipping's a whole different ball game, right? We're going to get to that in a second. But on this, I don't know if I would do anything different. I think I just got to tell you guys to keep doing what you're doing, but I just want to get a bigger frame on you. Does that make you happy, or did you want something like different to do?
It's fine.
Yeah, because I like, if it ain't broken, I don't like to try and fix it, right? I mean, this is...
Yeah, my 2 bits in this is that we've been struggling with going back and forth with the old extension, and she had this issue of being a little inside and shut.
Okay.
And we've always gone back and forth. Like, why hasn't she been able to fix it? And we've tried all sorts of things. I got a clubs check, in fact, just last week, and they were a lot heavier.
Like you said, when you went lighter, everything got better.
Much better.
So I got 2 options. Go lighter or get stronger. Right?
True.
Right, so you're going to get to a point where you can't get light enough. Like, we need to get stronger. So now we understand a little bit about what's happening in her swing. We see that the arm speed's a little bit down. We heard the history of maybe some heavy clubs in the past. And like I said earlier, I think loss of posture can be part of this. Now, one of the key indicators of loss of posture is something called early extension. And this is when you move your lower body towards the golf ball during the swing. It's pretty clear here with Ananyaa that she does a lot of early extension, especially in the backswing. And this is something I see with kids who are not fit properly, is they're using their body to lift the club up in the air because it's maybe too heavy. Now it could be because the club's too heavy, or it could be that they haven't developed strength yet, right? Or it could be a combination of the two. So basically what's happening is we're gonna go through how you create power down here. I love how you do it. The sequence in which you create power, the amount of speed, I mean, you're above LPGA average with your speeds over there. The biggest thing that we see is that when you swing, there's a lot of this, but when something's heavy, it'll throw you over, so you're trying to lift it up, right? When this thing moves, okay, most people don't realize this. If you give me a driver here for a second, right? When I take a driver, and the driver sits here, this isn't hard to hold this, right? But when I start swinging this at high speeds like you, okay, this creates something called centripetal acceleration. You ever heard of that? Centripetal acceleration means the club wants to fly away from the center. If you let go of a club, it would kill Matt. It would go flying that way, right? It wouldn't come to you, it goes away. So as you move something in a circle, it creates speed and power flying away. And you have to pull back to just keep it going in a circle. And you think, well, it shouldn't require a lot of strength, but centripetal acceleration, we can actually measure that. It's the velocity squared divided by the radius. If you do the math, if you want to move the club 100 miles an hour, if I take a normal radius of a club, it equals about 87 pounds, which means standing here with that cable cross, 87 pounds, you have to pull back 87 pounds to keep the club moving at 100 miles an hour without it pulling you forward. And what I'm telling you right now is it's pulling you forward, because you can't do 87 pounds right now. But if I make it shoot 87 pounds, the club's not going to pull you, you're going to pull the club, right? That's what you're seeing right here. So we get a lighter club, doing things, we kind of want her to keep going fast, and I want her to be able to support that, and we just got to get stronger, right? And you're at the age where we can build strength, right? So we can do that. You're not going to be bulky or anything. I'm not talking like you might not even notice it, but you're going to be stronger. And by the way, it's velocity squared divided by radius. So 100 miles an hour, it's around 87, 88 pounds. If you want to go 150 miles an hour, it's close to 200 pounds because it's velocity squared. Like, imagine having to hold 200 pounds, like the long drive, like, you got to be really strong. Sorry to throw math at you, but I think it's important to know why that matters. While we got her hooked up, let's do a driver real quick. And then let's talk chipping. See, I don't really care how far the 6-iron goes. Like, let's say you're like, my 8-iron isn't going far enough. If you want to hit your 8-iron farther, it's called your 7-iron, right? You just go, it doesn't, who cares, right? There's nothing past this, so this is where the speed matters, right, with the driver, right? You can't go to the next club, right?
Double plate ready.
Okay, that might be all I need. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's more. It's like 3.5 inches now. And she does a great job of recovering. I mean, she does a great sequence after that. It's just, I don't want her to have to recover. You know what I mean? Yeah, so now I'm really starting to think that, okay, for sure Ananya's built some bad habits because maybe the equipment wasn't fit for her properly. And I think we saw from the power testing that we've got some core and upper body weakness here that's definitely involved. I call it a stable early extension. If you early extend and then you stay there, it's kind of stable. I get really worried when you're early extending in the downswing. You don't do that, right? It's almost like lifting the club up's an effort.
Yeah.
That's kind of, but then once you're there, you're like, I'm cruise control, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a big deal. By the way, we're looking at everything under a microscope. And for me to say, just keep doing what you're doing, how rare is that? Just want you to understand, like that, I don't lie either. I'm like, I would tell you if there's lots of things to work on here, that is, don't let anybody mess with your swing. You just keep listening, don't, like, somebody says, oh, you need to make big changes, they're wrong. So many people, like, when you make it big and you're out there, everybody's got an opinion. Right? And they're going to tell you, hey, you're doing it wrong, you do this. How do they know that what you're doing is not the thing all the kids in the future will be copying? Like you have a little unique moves, keep going. This is good. Like, we don't look at style. I don't care what the style looks like. I just care, is it efficient? And what you're doing is very efficient. Very efficient. Whenever you're ready, don't worry about the force plate. Just land it on the... Hold on a second. So that's 58. Okay. First ball. Yeah, just land it on top of that. Okay. I think I'm going to take all the junk off, and let's talk chipping first. Let's talk about what I think I can help you the most with. Obviously, the strength I can help you the most with, and the other one, strength I think is going to help the swing. You already told me what the problem was, and I agree with you. She's standing up as she goes in the back. That's the main problem. The good news is you're right, right? So the data confirms it. I never don't say like I don't believe my coaches, but I verify everything, right? And the good news is what you said is what's happening. Chipping, there's something happening that I want to point out for both of you guys. That's important. I'm gonna get all the junk off you here real quick. You did great there, by the way.
Thank you.
This guy's pretty good. That's on the right. Okay, he's pretty good. And then I'm gonna bring up your chipping. So I did the same thing. I said chip at 20 yards, right? And this is on the force plate. If I look at this number right here, COMU/D, that's your center of mass. Your center of mass is like the center of your body, right? And it's measuring how many inches it goes up and down, okay? He's at 1.06 at the start. That means when it said double plate ready, before he swung, he kind of moved up 1 inch. He just got himself settled. So I imagine that's 0. He's starting at 1 inch, okay? Now I want you to notice this when goes the chip, okay? That number, what does the number do?
Goes up.
Okay, it's still going up in the backswing, so it goes up. So that's his center of mass is kind of raised up a little bit, right? Started at 1, it's gone up almost 2.5 inches, right? Now keep watching. What's it doing?
Still going.
What's it doing?
Going up.
Did it ever go down? Okay, if I look at the best chippers in the world, this is a characteristic that a lot of players don't realize, is they never go down, right? Death in chipping, Sujin will tell you this, is this.
Yeah.
That's death in chipping, okay, going down, right? We never want down. Okay, so we go to your start, and you are at, okay, so you're at 0.85, okay? What's it doing?
It's going up.
Yep.
Still going up.
Now, you started at 0.8 and went to 6, so you went up 5 inches. How much did John do? It's like 2.5.
Yeah,
Notice you go up a little bit more.
yeah.
We kind of talked about that. I think strength has part of that. You're kind of lifting yourself up, doing something. I think that'll, as you get stronger, you'll be able to maintain your posture. Maybe we can talk about a couple of ideas on that. But so far, it's going up, right? We want it going up. We don't want it going down. Now we're looking at 10 yards. Okay. Start at 2.3. That's 0. Just imagine that's 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still going down.
Now notice it right there. It almost started to go down, but you caught yourself. Okay, you caught yourself. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. It's negative 2.3.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're going.
More down.
Now you caught yourself. Now you're starting to. Now you're going down again. Now you're going down. Why is it going down now? I want you to notice as the chip got shorter, this was very consistent. You started to go down
Yeah.
instead of going up. This is very common. Do you see any of that when she's chipped? Do you see any leg down at all?
Yes.
You do? You have seen it?
Here and then
Yes. Okay.
drag.
As I asked you to get more finesse, like shorter ones, your up went to down, right? We can't have that. You can't go down. You go down, you're going to have inconsistency in contact. Inconsistent contact is going to be like, I can't control distance, right? Remember, chipping, you never worry about left and right. It's all distance,
Yeah.
right? If your contact's off, then sometimes your distance is good, sometimes there, and that's where death is. You want the same spot. Yeah, so you want the same spot. Let's stand right over here. If I said, I want you to take a ball, medicine ball, and throw a medicine ball. Let me see you just throw a medicine ball. Okay, and we're gonna go again, and you're gonna do a little step and throw a medicine ball.
Start here.
Yep. When you do that, when you step, do you feel like you're bending? Or do you feel like when you step, you're standing up as you throw?
Going up, yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Let me see you do it again. That's what you should do when you swing as well.
Yeah.
But what you just told me on your swing is when you went this way, you're throwing a ball like this. I'm like, well, that's not power. We wouldn't do that. That's
Yeah.
right. Yes, it's that. Have you ever thought of that in chipping at all? Okay. I think that's the first thing I would do, right? Is to make sure that's going up. So you don't like that.
No.
Okay, so grab this is yours. Show me what it should look like.
Should be there.
Okay, and you do what?
I go there.
Okay, do you know why?
versus me making it a little more putting motion in the chipping, especially the short ones.
Can I see you just do a chip with your right hand only?
I don't want that to be a long-term thing.
Okay, let me see left hand only.
I want her to look at her, and even I'll try to keep it right.
That's the problem right there, by the way. Did you see that, Dave? Obviously, if we're going to have a contest, you're going right hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Most great chippers, it's not even a question, it's the left hand.
Yeah.
Right, so your left hand, is that a strength problem? Does that feel like you have the strength to do that?
No, I just feel like I can't deliver it in the same place. Like I can lift it, but I can't do that. I end up dropping it. So.
Can I see that real quick? I take both of these, right, just like this, and just like that, right? Pretty simple. Let me see that with your right hand. Let me know if it's too heavy, okay? You're gonna just try and slowly lift it. Is it too heavy? Okay, can I see the other side?
Oh yeah, no.
Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no chance.
Okay, so the thing is what you have to understand is like you don't think there's a strength problem here. There's a massive strength problem here, right? When I take most people chip, the left hand does this, right? The right hand loves doing this,
Yeah.
which is why your left hand's not doing anything, right? So this is literally, if I said, let me watch you chip again with your left hand. Good, now watch the right. Let me see the right hand. Look, do you see that? Do you see the right go up this way and the left go around? When you do the left hand, good. Notice the club it wants to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, the club wants to do this. So do a couple of that with your left hand. Just don't even hit the ball, just take a couple back swings. Yep, I mean keep doing it a couple times. Now take your right hand and just put your right hand on the club like this, but you're not allowed to grip it. Good, now let the left hand do the work. Yep, do a couple of those. Good, can I see you, when it says double plate ready,
Double plate ready.
go for it, go for it. With your right hand touching it. Yep. Yep. Did you see the buckle? But did you see the buckle there on the legs too? But watch the takeaway here. So the legs were still the buckle. We'll get to that in a second. What you don't like, you didn't like the takeaway, right? Neither does your coach, right? So if I look at this with just the left hand, you're gonna go, hey, why can't I do that? But just understand, like, your right's way more powerful, way stronger, so your right's just picking it up. That's like, I mean, I don't know how to make that better. That's freaking perfect, right? Okay, this is, you swallow the sensor and it's in the middle of your belt, right? And see where this is? It's like at 0 right here. Now watch. Now it's at point 4, it just keeps going down. Keeps going down, like the whole swing's down. If I showed you, it just goes up. So the two things I think we have to work on. Back to the first thing, strength, which answers Jeannie question number 1, right? Is, okay, we gotta get you stronger. That's gonna make him so he doesn't pull his hair out because he's driving him crazy. Like, why does she keep doing this? I'm like, well, she doesn't have the strength to. Now the standing tall. If I just said, let's do the 10-yard chip, don't go down. Let me just see, how would you fix it? I didn't even give you a drill. I just say, don't do it. By the way, does that already feel better?
Yeah.
Keep going. Now do one where you go down on the downswing. Can you feel the difference there?
Yeah.
Notice how contact was slightly more behind, you weren't sure over there? That's what happens with down. So what I would want you to do from practice standpoint, if you're gonna go up there like you're gonna chip, I'd want you to feel like you're steering this with the left hand in the backswing. Go ahead and use your right hand on the downswing. Feel like yeah. Watch that from down the line, see if you like that. So feel like your left hand does it on the backswing, but your right hand does it on the downswing.
It's already a lot better.
You like it better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your right hand in the backswing. That's the problem, right? So first thing I would do is that in chipping, and then don't get shorter, get taller. Okay, that's it. Those are the two things in chipping. Full swing, I'm not sure how to make it more efficient. I mean, there's some great things. I think if I get you stronger, I'd like to go look when you're stronger, like in a year and a half. I'd like to see, or in a year, do you still do some of the standing up stuff? If you don't, I don't have to worry about it. Like, why change it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Should we stick with the same sort of training protocol, like twice a week with Ali, maybe once on our own?
yes. So the thing with strength is strength is high sets, low reps, long rest, right? Like you really want a couple days in between those training sets. You don't want to do it every day, right? You can do like your mobility stuff and like body weight stuff every day, but when we start putting on real strength, we're actually creating some tissue damage that needs to repair. That's why nutrition is really important. Make sure you're not eating junk and all that, like the more sugar you're doing, it just makes this harder. So if you're eating good food, you got enough protein in there and stuff like that, then and you can do shakes and all. I'm sure Alice will give you some of those things. It just makes it so that you're not sore, right? It helps recover faster. But I don't like to do like heavy strength stuff more than, at her age right now, more than 3 times a week. I really wouldn't. Like twice a week would be great for strength, and the rest of the stuff we can do would be fantastic. You can make some huge gains. Remember, when you're young, how fast can you make gains?
Yeah.
Really fast.
I think that's one of the reasons why, even when she does the speed stuff, that's the other question I had. She does it once a week at the moment?
We don't put speed on small frames.
So yeah, so maybe cut down on that.
I wouldn't do that. I'd build the frame and then go crazy.
Because she's hit a wall as far as that's
Yeah.
concerned. She got
This is the biggest problem we have in golf and in baseball is people see on the internet, they see all these speed training things. Like I see the speed sticks and all the weighted balls and all that kind of stuff, but they don't realize for those athletes that we're doing that on, we've spent 4 years building a foundation, a frame that's really big to support the speed. We didn't just put speed on small frame. Those are the ones that get hurt. Right? They're like, oh, I don't know, I tried it and it hurt myself. And I'm like, well, did you do all the work to prepare for that? They're like, what's that? Like that's the problem.
And what would you suggest, because she's going to be playing 20 odd events, maybe a bit more in a year, does she try and do what Ali sets her
So
to
just-
do, or does she
Just remember this. Nobody in the world knows who won the 13-year-old World Championships. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares who won the 14-year-old championships. Nobody cares. What they care is who won the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
They care who won the Masters. That's what they care about, right? It's really easy when you're young to focus just on winning when you go out playing tournaments. But I'm always like, if you want to define really winning, here's what winning is. Every time I play, I learn something new so that I can actually get better for next week. So I don't care if I won or lost. As long as I learned something, that was an advantage to go play. And number 2 is if I'm doing something that makes me passionate about the sport, like if I go play golf, I feel like it's exciting, it's fun, it makes me get more excited to go work harder. If I just go on the range and just hit balls, I don't know if that's exciting for kids. Like going to play is actually fun and you addict them to the sport. I always say if you want to be the best in the world, you have to work harder than anybody else. And to work harder than anybody else, it can't be work, it has to be a passion, right? So the goal for young players is develop a passion and learn techniques and things that can help you improve. It's really not about winning. If those things are getting in the way of you getting stronger and developing, you're making a mistake. Or if you're like, I'm too busy doing tournaments to get better, I'm like, okay, well then you're never going to win. You're never going to be on tour. When you meet somebody with your golf skills that can hit it 100 yards past you, how are you going to feel? Trouble.
Yeah.
You're going to feel trouble. Like, do you want to give them that advantage? Then let's build all the weapons so that when it matters, they don't have a weapon over you. So Ananyaa is a perfect example of one of the biggest problems I see with great young players. They're really good when they're young, they have great technique, and they like winning, right? And I always try to explain to them, listen, right now you've got technique to your advantage, you spend a lot of time doing this, but we need both weapons. And when I say both weapons, I need golf skills and athletic skills. Because when you start meeting the best ladies on the planet on the LPGA, they are athletes and golfers. And if you spend all your time when you're young just working on golf skills and not on the athletic skills, when it matters, like when it's time to win the US Open, you're not going to win. You know, when you tee up next to a and all of a sudden you're like, or a Ariya Chutanagar and she hits it, you know, you're going to go, I can't beat her. And guess what? You're right. Because you've spent too much time trying to win the U14 championship instead of developing the strength and the speed and the frame and all that kind of stuff, which is what they're like, I don't care. I'm just trying to, that's what we've learned. If you try and specialize young, we call it like fruit, early ripe equals early rot, right? I don't like doing that, right? That's when you said 16, I'm like, that sounds like early ripe, early rot. I'm like, as long as you have the tools, but I'm like, man, you've got a lot of the tools. You're just missing one big one, strength. You add that and you're good, go. Okay, I mean, I really like what I'm seeing here. I'm just worried the frame's gonna fall apart. So just make it stronger and we're happy.
Thank you, sir.
Is that easy?
Very easy.
That's honestly, that's like the least I've ever told a player right there. So that's, you know, hopefully you like that. Because I was poking and prodding, looking for everything.
It's a
Yeah.
privilege.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. It was an honor to work with you, right? Best of luck on this. And like I said, come back and we'll check things. Great seeing you,
Thank you,
buddy.
sir.
Yeah, you got
Good
it.
to catch up
Do
again.
you guys have questions? Anything?
So what a great surprise today. We have this young little girl walks in, and you realize real quick, this isn't a little girl. This is a young lady who actually is developing speeds and power like we see with some of the best players in the game, right? You know, my overall take on Ananyaa is it's incredible where she is at age 13. She's created this incredible technique of how to use the ground with her force plates. The way she transfers energy through her body is great. I think she's got an incredible team around her, Sujan and Alistair. I think now we just got to add the foundation of strength to help stabilize all the speed she's doing, and the sky's the limit for her.